No.
I just don't know. The Knicks, I don't know what they can offer to trade is the problem right now.
They were being picked to finish, second or third in the East this year.
Yeah?
They'll be lucky to make the playoffs.
Oh, they'll be...
They'll be lucky to make the playoffs.
They need more than organization and, preparation and all that stuff. They got a lot of problems. I don't know why that everybody keeps overlooking Chicago. They were really good.
Yeah.
Look, 17-4, these guys. That's a legit team.
They're totally legit. My issue with them, which I think is what they ran into last year, is Derrick Rose. He's great.
Too heavy relying on him, right?
Right. He's a shooting me first point guard, which is kind of like an oxymoron.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't work in the NBA.
It doesn't work.
No,
it doesn't.
You need a distributor.
Yeah.
You need.
There's great talent there too, but he's not. He can't distribute to himself. He's not Bugs Bunny. They're great though, and they play defense.
Yeah.
They're going to be there to the end.
They will.
It's just a matter of if putting too much on him comes back to haunt him like they did last year.
Yeah, it'll probably be them against the Heat again in the conference championship, and the Heat wiped the floor with them really last year. It turned out to be a 4-1 series, right?
I think so. I'm pretty
sure
they didn't win. They definitely didn't win. It definitely didn't go 7.
No, I think it was 5. And I wanted to actually talk about the Clippers for a second because I had a lot of question marks about them. Not Chris Paul, but more Blake Griffin. I just wasn't sure if he can score from the outside.
I'm still not sure if he can score.
Yeah, he's shown signs of it this year, and that's the thing. They're going to need more from him. He can't just be Lob City, West over there. I think they're going to need more. They're doing well right now. They're 11-6, 10-6 actually, at half a game up on the Lakers, but a game up on the Lakers. So they're playing well, but I just don't see them as being a real contender.
I agree with you. I could see them being a contender soon, which is just it's actually frightening to even think that way because they're like a perennial destitute team.
Yeah.
Chris Paul is great, and he'll make other people better.
Mm-hmm.
It's another rumor with Howard. Could they trade Blake Griffin to get Howard?
Oh,
I'd make that deal.
Oh, if
I'm the
Clippers, I'd do it in a heartbeat. It would have to be more than just Blake.
I think Blake's going to be great, but Howard's still super young, and you just can't. There's no one to guard him,
and nobody can guard him. And he's the best defensive player in the league.
Yeah.
That guy's. Like I said, wherever he goes next, there will be a superstar there with him, and they will win at least 4 championships over the next 6-7 years. I'm telling you right now, you cannot contend a big guy and a dominant big guy and another small.
So if he's winning 4. Does that mean that the Heat aren't winning 7?
That's exactly right.
Does that mean the Heat
They're winning their 1? They're not winning. Exactly. I'm sorry, LeBron and Wade, but your little fantasies are not going to come true if Howard finds another superstar to play with. Then he will. How about Knicks West, though? Denver. They're 14-5. If the Knicks situation isn't bad enough, that just is like the gut shot about everything.
Absolutely. It's a total gut shot.
What a killer.
I don't know if you caught the game against them last week. With the double overtime, and what Gallinari had almost 40.
Yeah, 37, yeah. Right.
That trade is looking worse and worse and worse.
It really is. Because that's the funny thing. The Knicks, their record hasn't improved at all since they got Melo. It's got worse.
Yeah. And Denver proves that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
I don't even think they have a single superstar or a star for that matter. But they have lots of good players.
They don't.
And it's showing up in the record.
Yeah, it really is.
I put my money on them right before I put it on the Knicks. That's for sure.
In a heartbeat. I wouldn't put anything on the Knicks except for just the fact that they're not making the playoffs right now.
They're looking to get my time at this point.
And it's a short season too.
Yeah. Which is painful. This week they got 3 games in a row.
Yeah, it kills them.
They're going to lose at least 2 of those.
Having to play so many games and having Melo hurt, and how short the season is, it's a killer. Here's something that wasn't short.
Okay.
The tennis match this morning.
That was not short at all.
That was the longest thing that ever occurred in the history of the world. A 6-hour tennis match?
It actually
how can you survive that
match ever. I don't know.
How can you that is incredible. I was talking about tennis, a couple of episodes ago, and I was explaining how don't knock tennis because it's a one-on-one battle. You got nobody to rely on. You got nobody to pass. You got nobody to blame. Right? It's just you out there one-on-one. And these guys, Djokovic and Nadal, put their lives on the line. It seemed like they were falling down after plays because they were so tired. You're talking about 26 ground strokes and unbelievable 5-set match. then went into what tennis calls the tennis version of overtime. Past 7 sets and whatnot. And what an incredible... Djokovic ends up winning. For all those who I'm sure a lot of you didn't watch it, but you should.
You missed it.
You missed it.
You definitely missed it.
And I don't know how you missed it because it was on TV for 6 hours. So if you flicked around, you had to have seen it at some point. The match was great. Federer and Nadal were the thing. Now it looks like Nadal and Djokovic are the new 1-2. How you do?
Yeah, I mean Djokovic is phenomenal. Right. For years and years and years, it seemed like he was kind of stuck behind the two of them.
Right.
But he surpassed both now.
He did. He's number one.
And he's awesome.
He's so good.
I mean, he even called him in a prayer towards the end of the match. Like it was, I think, right before the last point.
Yeah.
It was pretty incredible, man. And I give both of them props because the type of stamina required to play a 6-hour tennis match is insane. And going back to what you're saying with one-on-one battle and this and that. I mean, tennis. I don't want to get into, is this a sport or is this a game?
Oh, it's a sport.
No, tennis absolutely is. But then you have golf, where I'm not sure if that's a sport.
It's not. There's no way it's a sport.
That's why people's the view on tennis, wherever it is, you got to be a great athlete to play tennis at that level.
Totally, it's such a legit sport.
These guys are firing balls at 120, 130 miles an hour.
I'm glad you brought up golf. And how the fact that it isn't a sport, okay?
It's not.
You have 300-pound men who play it, who aren't athletes, all right? They're not defensive linemen wearing shoulder pads. You are required to wear dress pants to play. I'm sorry.
It's true.
That doesn't work for me.
No.
You wear shoes and slacks. You have a nice, pretty belt on. These players wear watches.
It is a skill.
They don't even carry their own equipment.
They don't even carry their own equipment.
Amazing to me.
You would think they'd get a workout doing that at the very least. And walking a golf course is not easy. But you're still walking.
I know, it's really hard to walk.
You're still walking.
It's tough. I have trouble all the time
You're
walking.
still walking a golf course. And, I mean... look, it's a skillful game. It's a
skillful game.
It's a skillful game.
It's a game.
It takes a lot of patience. It is a very difficult game to play. But
no doubt.
It's not. There's no. Honestly, no athletic ability. But it's not a sport.
It's not athletic.
It's not a sport.
It does not require you to be any type of athlete at all to play golf.
Right.
Have you seen some of the schleps out there? Look, you guys are great. You're making all your money. All props to you. But you're not athletes, or you could be, but you're not playing a sport. You're not playing an athletic
Usually
sport.
it's the other way around, like the Tony Romo situation. You got a good athlete playing an actual sport.
Yeah.
Who plays golf on the side, and he's pretty good at it.
And he can do it because he's just good at everything. Apparently, Tony Romo.
Why I'm giving props to Dallas Cowboy, I'll never know. But in any case,
I don't like doing that too much.
Yeah,
I like Tony Romo though. I don't have a problem with him.
I don't have a problem with him at all.
I like Romo,
and I'm not envious at all.
No, I couldn't imagine you would be. I'm sure you're very happy with your quarterback right now.
Absolutely.
But he's not better than his brother. Why are people saying that?
He's not.
Stop.
Well, hold on a second. He's not. Today he's not. But if he does this for another 4, 5, 6 years, he's definitely more clutch than his brother.
I agree.
He's definitely more clutch than his brother. And with a few more years of this, if we get a few more years of this Eli, maybe.
All right.
Maybe. I'll leave the jury out on that.
Certainly not now.
Certainly not yet.
Okay. And I just don't like
been so good for just so long. I mean,
that's the thing. He's been so good for, and I know that he's more of a regular season quarterback. I get it. He has had his difficulties going back to college at Tennessee, not being able to win a big game.
That's true.
So there's something there that Peyton Manning.
Should we give a shout out to T. Martin? T. Martin, represent, buddy. I'm sorry.
I love it. College football. Where did these guys go?
I know.
You can win a Heisman.
Did T. Martin even play in the NFL?
I think he got drafted, but I'm not sure. And I'm certainly not going to do the research to find out.
No.
Sorry, Tim. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a similar situation, at least in my opinion, and I am biased, I'll put down the table, with Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. These people saying Aaron Rodgers is better than Brett Favre. Has he had a great little run? Absolutely. But you can't take away from the longevity aspect of it. This guy was great for years and years and years and some more years.
I am so with you on that. Aaron Rodgers looks phenomenal. He looks great, but I watched Brett Favre play basically every game of his career.
And it took your breath away.
He terrified me as a 49er fan.
Right.
He was the guy I was most scared of. It wasn't even Emmitt Smith. It wasn't Michael Irvin. It was Brett Favre.
Right.
When he was on the field, I'm saying, oh my gosh, I know something terrible is going to happen against me. I knew it. He was the guy I feared more than anybody, and I'm leaving Barry Sanders out because they didn't make the playoffs too much, so I wasn't too frightened of him. The point is that Brett Favre.
Yeah, the Lions didn't have much more.
No, they had. What a legit. People forget. I know he threw a lot of picks, and I know, like we talked about before, how his legacy is sort of tainted at the end.
A little bit.
In some people's opinion. But that guy was a phenomenal football player, not just a quarterback.
Right.
That dude played football, man.
And there was nothing more classic than watching him and like Warren Sapp go nose to nose, and the mutual respect that was there, the linebacker mentality of a quarterback.
Sure.
I mean, you just can't deny it.
No, you can't deny it. He was great to watch. You know, if you're not like a Cowboy or a Niner fan, the guy was incredible. So.
And nobody's perfect. And the people who think that the picks aren't going to happen, he threw a little more. I think the most picks ever. I think he has.
Yes, he does. No, he does.
So he made a few more mistakes than the average guy, but you know what? Give him props for trying.
But then, I'm not taking anything away from it. I put Brett Favre up there in the top 10 of all time. I don't have him in my top 5 personally. I think that because, like we say, winning is the ultimate, but winning championships is the real ultimate,
Sure.
Like, you can go 13-3 in a season like Peyton Manning does, but if you don't have the title at the end of the year, you got nothing to show for it.
Right.
So when Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw got their 4, and Tom Brady's got his 3,
what about Dan Marino?
4, that's an issue for me. It is. I think Dan Marino's a great player. I mean, he's an immortal type player, but where's your at least one ring? You got to get one for me.
You got to get one. You got to get one.
You got to get one, and that's why I put him a little bit further down. But yes, in football especially, it's more of a team game than anything. You can't just win with a quarterback. You need more than that. There's no doubt about it.
Of course.
So I can't say, because Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl, he's not, NFL elite.
Right.
But look, you got to win at least one for me. Man.
You can't put someone who hasn't won the championship ahead of someone who has won the championship, because to get to that level, those that didn't, Peyton was almost. He was pretty close.
Yeah. It's not like we're putting Trent Dilfer ahead of Dan Marino. We're not doing that because he won a Super Bowl.
We're not doing that.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Just saying that if you're already in that class of top 10, top 15 elite, you're now divided by and divvied up by your Super Bowl.
So what happens if Eli wins on Sunday? It's 2.
That is 2. And then you can start talking a little bit more into that conversation.
It puts him in some rare air.
It does. When you have 2 Super Bowls as a quarterback, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal.
And some people are going to say that 07 was fluky, and was he the same quarterback then as he is now? Absolutely not.
But he went on a run.
And like even the play, the David Tyree catch, he's not a statue back there. His athletic ability got him out of the multiple grasps on his jersey. I don't call that fluky. I think I was impressed with the tenacity to get away.
Yeah, they should have blew the whistle. Just like they should have blew the whistle last week, but Ahmad Bradshaw fumbled the ball against the 49ers.
They shouldn't have. They shouldn't have.
I mean, they should. Right? They just.
It was a quick whistle.
What?
It was quick. It was quick.
What a big key moment in that game among millions of others. I'm not saying the 49ers deserve to win. And could you imagine the 49ers in the Super Bowl right now going against... that line would be pretty bad, I think.
It would be pretty bad.
I think that would be a bad line.
It'd be pretty bad, and I don't know that, take the Denver-New England game, if Brady does like he did to Denver, and it happens for San Francisco, I don't know if San Francisco has the firepower to get back in a game like that.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean...
They showed a little bit against the Saints, yeah.
They showed a lot against the Saints.
But I'm not sold on Alex Smith. I've been watching him since he came out, and I
want to see it again. I want to see that again.
You see, I don't want to see it again. I'm ready to move on.
No, I don't mean Alex Smith. I mean the that offensive output by San Francisco. Show that to me again and a couple more times.
Yeah,
and I'll believe.
I just don't. And he's still young, which is interesting. He's only 27.
Right.
It feels like he's been in the league forever, but he's only 27 years old. I don't see it. He doesn't throw a good deep ball. He's not incredibly accurate. I don't blame a lot of stuff on him. He actually played very well this year. He didn't turn the ball over, and that was the key thing. That's why the Niners only lost 3 games, because they didn't turn the ball over.
How about this? Think about this for a second. This guy's been questioned his whole career, and there's no doubt that this little pregame ritual him and Harbaugh have had has totally instilled life and confidence into Alex Smith, right?
Confidence is key.
The exact opposite of what goes on with the Jets, with Mark Sanchez and Rex Ryan. I think that should be an example that Rex Ryan should watch. Is just as a football fan, you like seeing the whole interaction between Harbaugh and Alex Smith before the game.
Yep.
The pounding on the shoulder pads and the pounding, hitting him in the gut, hitting him in the head, and all that stuff. There's something great about it. The opposite of calling out your quarterback in public, saying you want other guys such as Peyton Manning. I mean, what are you doing?
Right, and I know that he didn't exactly say, yes, I want Peyton Manning on my team, but you don't even come close to even uttering those words. You don't even mention his name.
Right.
You move on to the next question.
Right.
What we're talking about is he had an interview Rex Ryan, and he said that Peyton Manning is better than Sanchez for lack of going into the whole context of the situation. But the point is, don't even bother saying it.
Right.
Don't stir up any more controversy, because that little tidbit of what he said exploded into Rex Ryan wants Peyton Manning on the New York Jets.
In the firestorm of the New York media.
Right. Exactly. In the worst media you can imagine.
And you know what? I mean, you got to give the guy confidence. Just like people jumped on Eli when he called himself elite. When he was just asked the question, by the way. They asked him if he was elite.
How about that?
But he had the confidence to say it, and then he backed it up. I mean, clearly he's backed it up.
Totally.
But how do you expect your quarterback to feel like that if you're saying you'd rather have someone else?
I know it's a bad thing. You don't do that. And, look, people's feelings get hurt.
Yeah.
Even though you're a big, tough and rough NFL player, there are
feelings
involved.
The feelings are real.
They're real, and that happens. Look, I'm glad you guys stuck with us. We're going to come back for segment 3 soon. Stick around. We love you all, but we're out for now.